Hello, hello, hello out there in YouTube world. Tonight, I decided while I was amongst my packing to go through some of my photo albums from back in the day of ghost hunting. I hope you guys all enjoy this. Okay, so one of the first photos here was taken at Middleville Cemetery, and you guys can probably see all of the like little ecto-y looking stuff in the air. But get a load of this. Probably going to be hard for you to see, and if I zoom in, it is going to get blurry. But over here in the right corner, there appears to be something setting down over here. Here's the head with like the alien-looking eyes, the shoulders, the arms that come down, the body, and the legs bent like they're sitting on something, and the 2 feet. That was taken at Middleville Cemetery. Isn't that creepy? Okay, this next photo was taken at the Historic Four Corners in Herkimer, and this is me. I was doing a ghost tour. Look at all the coloring and the streaking and everything that's in the air. Is that not creepy? There was lots of energy that was coming out on the meters that night. This was also taken in the same spot, and you can see all the weird lines and stuff, and it was discolored over in here, which might be a little hard to tell on camera. This was taken at General Herkimer's home in one of those stone, like, root cellar things. There was a lot of mist and stuff in here, but it's hard to tell via camera, but it was like an outline of somebody walking sideways amongst all that murky must. Or must, I can't even talk, guys. This one would definitely have to fall under probably creepiest. This was actually taken at the carriage house at Beardsley Castle. You cannot even see the carriage house. Notice the screaming face amongst all of the ecto-y stuff. A lot of people have seen a lot of different things in this photo when looking at it. Now, what had happened when this photo was taken was there was people on a ghost tour with me, along with my ghost hunting members, and one of them said, well, why don't you show yourself? And there you got it. Somebody's screaming back at you. Once again, there's another photo here taken at Beardsley Castle. It's really hard to tell, but, I mean, besides the energy streaks there, if you could see this in person, there's actually a man standing here. Here is his head, his hair, and he's, like, kind of floating a little bit. His body comes down, and it was going through the table, but it's really hard to capture on camera while doing this. It actually looked like he was holding onto like a pipe or something in his mouth. This next photo was taken at the old historic Herkimer jail. Now, you don't really notice anything in these pictures except for the cage on the outside of the windows, but in this window right here, you'll see this. Now, this could be just like the eyes playing tricks on you, you know, like when you're looking at the clouds and stuff, but it looks like a woman's face. I printed it off in black and white and in color. And if you don't see her face, I outlined 2 different ways that you could see it. So now that you're seeing it that way, let's go back down here to the picture. Now do you see it? One of the stories was Roxalana Druce was in this jail, and she was hung out back, but a lot of other people have been in this jail also, and have been hung out back in the gallows. This is another photo that was taken at Beardsley Castle when I had the first ghost hunting crew. This was actually outside, right next to, if you're looking at the castle right to the left, you'll see where you go through an archway of trees. You can't even really see that. All you see is the mist and stuff from there. Here's another photo that was actually taken at Middleville Cemetery There was so much energy going on that night. Now, mind you, I had probably around 70 some odd people there with me. It was really super creepy, a lot of the photos that we had captured that night. Here's another photo that was taken in Middleville Cemetery. It looks like a big misty picture, but it almost looked like somebody like Jesus here with their arm going up. But I'm going to try to zoom in as best as I can. It looked like his face with an eye. The nose comes down here. There's the mustache, the beard, the long hair. Really kind of creepy. Here is where I blew it up just a little bit more. At the time when I had done the picture, it looked like his arm was going up and he had an arm that went down and his hand was there, but it's really hard to tell. This is stepping back in time back to 2011, and I was down where Frank Audino had gotten killed in the railroad tracks in Ilion. I have no idea how to explain the energy that's in this picture, but the entire picture is pretty well blocked out, except for the red energy. One of my son with a lot of mist going on near him back in the day, but again, this was winter time, and, you know, unless both people and both parties are holding their breath like we were doing, I mean, you can get that misty effect from just breathing in the wintertime. But again, a reminder, everybody was told to hold their breath. Okay, now I'm going to get a glare on this because it's, you know, hard copied and plastic and stuff. But in this photo, this was actually a photo I had taken at Beardsley Castle. This is the best I can do. This little bit is a little bit of reflection. I had actually gotten a face at Beardsley Castle. You'll see an eye here, a nose, like a mouth. And it was kind of a creepy looking thing. When I took the photo, he actually was like right in my face. And I had printed off an 8x10 of it. And they end up using that in the series for Ghost Hunters when they did the Ghost Hunters episode at Beardsley Castle. And I also did a talk with the newspaper back in 2004. Now, mind you guys, nobody was ghost hunting back then, so it was kind of, you know, a big thing, a big to-do. So when I did my talks, I used to have a lot of people. Now it's just like everyday typical crap. So unfortunately, I mean, you know, I stopped doing it because of the said fact. But back in the day, it was really interesting. And that was one of the creepy photos that I had gotten at Beardsley. This was another photo I had taken, but it's really hard to tell here because they made it into a black and white for one of the other newspaper articles. But at the time that the camera had flashed, it looked like a lady that was walking in front of me holding onto her dress. But unfortunately, when you guys see it in that photo, it doesn't look like too much of anything. Some more things that were in the papers back in the day. One of my articles in Fate magazine. Oh, goodness. One of my friends that are on here, Dennis Webster, when he went on one of the ghost tours with me, did a thing on the places that we stopped to. That was Fort Herkimer, or actually that's not Fort Herkimer Church like it says here. It's actually Indian Castle. Graves at Fort Herkimer. It looks more like actually graves at one of the other places there, but I could be wrong. Of course, Beardsley. One of my stories was published that I had in Fate magazine and David Pitkin's book, Ghost of the Northeast. Susan's House. This was a story that I did in my Proof of Survival years back. But because I wrote so many stories, I attached my ex-husband's name to it. Yeah. Some talks that I used to do. I did one for kids and ghosts and stuff one time around Halloween time. But, yeah, that's just some of the stuff that I used to do, guys. I'm going to go in now and see if I can find a couple more of my photo albums. This was actually another photo from Beardsley Castle. And when I took this, it looked like there was a man walking with like a helmet on his head sideways away from me. But when the picture was developed, and this was back in the 35mm days, that's all that came out. What appeared to be like apparitions of somebody turned into like a white misty effect. This was actually taken at Lowry Castle when it was still in Newport. You know, there isn't really too many ghostly things of the castle, ghostly stories, so to speak, but walking on the path, I felt like something was following behind us, so I just snapped a picture behind me, and lo and behold, it was that ecto mist. So back in the day, I got an awful lot of ecto mist and stuff in 35mm pictures. When you use digital cameras, I noticed that you end up with a lot more orbs and stuff like that. Of course, back in the day, we even went to cemeteries for whatever reason. You know, you always hear stories of ghosts and stuff at cemeteries. But yeah, I got a lot of ecto-y mist and pictures and things like that. My nails look great with my one broke off. Doesn't it look great, guys? So yeah, that was some of the creepy things. Oh. Orbs. Yep, you always got orbs and pictures. This one was, get that in the light, how the reflection in the plastic. This was actually Roger's ex's bedroom in one of her houses. It actually, you can't tell here, but it actually looked like there was an apparition standing in there. Once again, a lot of ecto and pictures and stuff like that, different places. That was like the ones at the beginning when you saw my sons, when everyone was told to hold their breath. Once again, down in the path here in Ilion with a lot of ecto down in there where Frank Audino had passed away when the wall fell on him. Again, there's that red picture. That was just a smaller version of it. Oh, looks like I've got some pictures missing in here. But yeah, I went to various places when I was younger, doing ghost things, and I saved all the pictures of things, and Alexander Hamilton Inn. No, that's not a ghost photo. That was actually a Gettysburg postcard. Nowadays, I would dismiss pictures like this because it's like ecto, or ecto, it's like dust and stuff. Oh, there I am at Gettysburg. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. That was a Jenny Wade house tour. I had picked up like an awful lot of pink and stuff in here. Again, hard to tell through plastic. That was my biological mother's wedding day. It's kind of creepy. She ended up passing away exactly 1 month to the day of her wedding. It looks like light leak in some of these pictures, but that's, you know, that's not light leak. That could be considered light leak. This was done with like a digital camera, so that wasn't even possible. A lot of my pictures are missing in here. The old Herkimer County Jail inside, and all you're getting is a reflection. So I'm going to close this video here. I just thought that you guys would enjoy, you know, just seeing some of the pictures I captured. I have more photo albums than this. I went through stuff as I was packing, and this is what I came across. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in another video of my ghost pictures.